Hi, everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes to review with you focus notes. There have been some changes to the system since we started this school year, and so I wanted to take a few minutes just to review with you a couple of bits of information that we hope will help you as you start your school year. So, again, just to go over the purpose of note taking, in all of your classes, high school, college, and grad school, your teacher is going to be giving you a boatload of information on their particular subject. And they are going to give you so much information so quickly that your brain can't be expected to remember everything it hears. So, in taking notes, you're taking the time to jot down all of the information that your teacher may give you in a given class period so that you can go back and review it later and try to make sense of the information. The goal here is not just to hear the information, but to give it a chance to attach itself to the information that's already in your head, that's already connected to this topic. And research shows that physically going through the process of writing down information actually does help your brain remember it. The other goal is to organize your information. When I was in school, I had professors who talked so fast and I wrote everything down, but then I had to go back through my notes and organize the information. I had to figure out what was important. I had to figure out how the different bits of information they said fit together. And honestly, going back and looking at my notes helped me do that. And it's okay as you're reviewing your notes to ask your teacher for information or for help in terms of what things in your notes should you keep versus what may not be as important. The end game here is that you have a significant resource in these notes, that you have this organized information that you have written down that you can refer back to when you study, that you can refer back to when you create your projects or your speeches or write papers. And your teachers do expect you to do this. A lot of the teachers in your other classes may have told you when you needed to write something down or that today was the day you needed to take notes. But as you get into your higher level classes, and definitely when you go to college, they're going to expect you to take notes every day. And they will expect that you do it on any number of sources. Some of us like to do it on paper in a notebook. Some of us like to print out the slides that our teacher uses and write our notes on those. Some of us will take notes directly in our books or on our PDFs, and all of that is fine. The end game here is that you get the information that your teacher says and that you figure out how it connects to the material that you're reading, how it connects to what you already know. In terms of trying to help you focus your notes, what you can expect in most of your classes is that your teacher will tell you what we're looking to learn today and what you will hopefully be able to do by the end of the day. If they give you that information, jot it down on your notes somewhere. It does help you focus in terms of what you write down and what you end up keeping in the end. It's also okay to ask your teacher what you should be listening for. Honestly, a teacher likes it when you ask, is there something specific I should be listening for today? Because that shows them that you care about what you're learning and that you want to make sure that you're hearing what they need you to hear. And remember that there is not one correct way to take notes. You can take notes in a variety of ways. I want you to do what's going to work best for your brain. So in terms of note taking, you don't have to do Cornell notes. For some people, that is the way that their brain works, and it's a very linear, very organized style. And if that works for you, then that's what you should do. But for some of us, if we're better at writing down information, I do all my notes in bullet points. And then I go through and I organize things and I highlight things. If you think visually and it works better for you to draw a mind map or a series of drawings that help show your information, that is a perfectly valid way of taking notes as well. If you're doing it on a PDF or a slideshow, you can take your notes the same way. If you've been asked to take notes in your book, which is going to be especially common in your English classes, you can write your notes on a Post-it note and put the Post-it note inside the book. If you're working with a PDF, you can annotate it in Kami or Digo. Or if you actually have a copy of the book, you can actually write down notes inside your book. And remember that your notes can be words, they can be sketches, they can be a mixture of both. The important thing is that when you go back to look at these notes in a day, in 2 days, in a week, you understand what you've written down. This is the important part, folks. After you finish taking your notes, this is critical. Take 5 minutes at some point in your day and look over those notes. Highlight anything that you know was important. It's a definition, or your teacher told you it was going to be on a test, or your classmates told you that it was important. Cross out anything that you wrote down, but now you see that it's not really something that your teacher may need you to use or to know. Chunk your information. Circle things that belong together, or underline things that belong together, or put little asterisks by things that belong together. It will help you organize the information in a linear manner. I would also suggest that you connect to other things that you know. So if you, for instance, are reading about Romeo and Juliet and their relationship, and you can connect this to the idea of relationships at a young age and love at first sight in today's world, go ahead and make a note to that, because you are connecting information from one part of your learning experience to another part of your life experience, and that is an excellent bit of critical thinking. Make any notes that you have about things that were confusing or that you didn't understand, because then you can go back and ask your teacher or study group about them. And the last thing is write down 1 to 2 sentences that summarizes the meaning of the information and what is the most important thing you want to be thinking about. Remember, you don't need to create new notes for your AVID class. The goal is that you take the notes that you've already written down in your other classes and you help refine them to make them stronger for you. That's the goal. So let me exit out of this. I hope that that helps you a little bit in terms of helping you remember that focusing your notes shouldn't be a huge deal. It should be something that you're building on from your other classes. And we are more than happy to help you in terms of that. So I hope this helped, and thanks.